Please give it up for the one, the only, Dan Duvall, everybody!
Tonight, thank you for coming. Thank you. Thank you for coming out to my live stand-up comedy special taping. It is my birthright as a white man to come out here and record that, so thank you for being a part of it. People say that white people don't have culture. We do. It's this. It's this, and it's when we put eyelashes on the headlights of a Volkswagen Bug. People say white people don't have culture. We do. But white culture is being a bartender at Earl's for 10 years and then becoming a real estate agent. Right? Very full of culture, the whites. Very much so. White culture is being mysteriously on a European vacation for weeks at a time when no one's really sure what you do for work. Yeah, big time, right? Yeah. You don't think white people have culture? I guess you've never been to a dog's birthday party before? I like the idea of a dog's birthday. I would 100% rather go to a dog's birthday party than a person's child's birthday party. 100%. Yeah. I like the idea of hungover dogs because I like a partied out dog. I want to see two dogs like hungover at work talking about how fucked up they got the night before, like how we do. You know, like service dogs, like, oh, I was not a good boy last night. It's like, I ate so much people food. Right? The other one's like, honestly, Cooper, you were begging for it. It's like, oh, I have no idea where my ball is. Right? The other one's like, you think that's bad? My Instagram was like 45 minutes of me just barking into a mirror last night. They're trying to one-up one another. The other one's like, I threw up in the kitchen. And then I ate it. This is great. It's good to be here. I was just on vacation in Rome. Yeah. Just on vacation in Rome. Rome is a crazy place. If you've never been there before, it's an astonishingly, I had the best time. I was there for 2 weeks, had the best food, had the most amazing time. If you've never been, it's like an open air museum. It's like there's ruins everywhere. It is crazy. The Romans, they're not taking down any of their statues. All still up. And they're... Yeah, and their people killed Jesus, so they don't give a fuck. They're like, take the arms off them, we'll teach them a lesson. This won't happen again, not on our watch. So I was in Rome for 2 weeks, and then vacation was over, and I had to go back to work. This is my job, right, doing comedy in Canada. So I went directly from Rome to Red Deer, Alberta. That's crazy. Do you understand the difference in that? That's in Rome, they're like, this is where Julius Caesar was stabbed, you know? And then you get to Red Deer, and they're like, that's the Tim Hortons where the mayor killed an owl. They're like, that's a sinkhole an entire Ricky's All Day Grill slid into. And that's the mall where you can still smoke. You know? Do this in rural Canada most of the time. Going to rural Canada anywhere is crazy. I don't fit in. I don't fit in at all. Like, the only hunting I've ever done is for a good deal on skinny jeans. I'm not like them. I'm not like them at all. Like, you get into like rural Canada, and that's where like That's where real men live, you know? Like there's like a factory out in the woods where they come out and they're like, would you like anything chopped? It's not the same. I've tried being a man. It's not for me. Like, I feel like you're not a man until you've been to the dump without your dad. And it would never work for me, because even if I went without him, I'd have to borrow his truck. I'm not like them. I'm not like a traditional dude, you know what I mean? Like, I'm born in the 80s, but I'm not a traditional man's man. You know? Like, I'm 42, I've never been in a fight before in my life. Okay. It's not happening tonight, relax. 42 years old, I've never been in a fight. I almost got in a fight one time. I did. I almost got in a fight one time when I was like 21. I was in a club, and a guy shoved my girlfriend. Like, actually, and I was like, okay. I'm like, this is it. I gotta do something, you know? And I stepped up and I was like, yo, man, yo. And he turned around and I was like, I am so sorry. She is just the worst. You and your huge friends look super tough this evening. I especially love the white stitching on your jeans. Are those dragons? True religion? Very nice. I'm not tough. I'm not a tough person. I might look tough because I'm covered in tattoos, but if you look close, that's a giraffe on roller skates. I'm not tough. I look like the desk you sat in when you were 8. Like a duotang, you know? They take one look at me in Grand Prairie, Alberta, and they're like, this guy is here to educate us on pronouns, you know? Which is good. It's a good thing, because the only time they're saying they, them in rural Alberta is when they're talking about immigrants, so. I'm sorry, do you think that they're progressive in rural Alberta? I've got a Greyhound bus ticket to Fort McMurray that says you're incorrect. Yeah, man, Grand Prairie's crazy. When I go there once a year to do this, and we drive there. We always drive to Grand Prairie. The drive up to Grand Prairie is bleak. It's long, and you're just trying to stay awake. And then the cool thing, though, is that they have, one thing I noticed is on the drive throughout rural Alberta, they have their billboards on the side of the roads are the backs of old trucks. Have you seen this? The backs of old trucks. I thought it was cool. Yeah, I think it's neat. I think it's cool to see my white ancestors using every part of the truck, you know? So, when you're driving into Grand Prairie, about an hour outside of town, there's a Tim Hortons that they always stop at. It's like its own little town. It's called Double Double. People are rolling up the rim there, but nobody's winning. You know what I mean? So, the last time I'm there, it's summer, and I stop at this Tim Hortons, and I go inside to get a coffee, okay? And I'm wearing a shirt with 3 dolphins on it. And it says, fuck that noise. And then I have the tiniest shorts on. Okay? And my legs look a lot like my arms. You know, like hot and jacked. So I'm standing in line. There's 3 of us in line. There's me, and then a 90-year-old man, probably the mayor of Double Double. and then like a 60-year-old woman in front of him. There's 3 of us in line, okay? And she turns around and she sees me in my getup, right? And she double takes. And then she looks at the old man in front of me, and then back at me, and then back at him, and then she leans over to him and she goes, L-word. And I was like, does she think I'm a lesbian? Because I have been taking care of myself, you know? But then she looks right at me and she points right in my chest and she goes, liberal? She called me a liberal like it was a slur. That's crazy. That's insane. I would never I have strong political opinions like anybody, right? But I can't judge somebody like that. I can't just come out and scream at somebody. I just wouldn't. Like, if I saw somebody putting a cigarette out on a homeless person, I'm not going to be like, conservative? I don't have to, you know? You already told me. Yeah, it's always crazy when you go to Alberta. I'll tell you this, though. Gas prices, the price of gas when I was in Alberta last time, $1.12. It was $1.12. Listen to me. I am very much a liberal. A left-leaning Victoria libtard guy. I am very much all of those things. Climate change, all that, totally. But I will feed straws directly to a sea turtle for 65 cents off the liter, okay? Fuck me up, Alberta. How do I become one of you? I'm ready to assimilate, okay? Give me the white Oakleys. Jack up my Kia Sorrento. I will name my first 2 born children Kinder and Morgan, okay? Let's go. Here for it. The craziest stuff happens on the road. The craziest stuff. I did a tour a few months ago, and we started the tour way up north in BC, and I got like really north, like so far north that when you go to do the show, you feel like you're doing a wellness check on the town. You're like, do you need me to bring anything from the south? You know? It gets weird up there. You're north. It's more men, you know? It's crazy. So, you know, I'm going into town to do this show, and I get pulled over, okay? Because I'm doing 140 and an 80, whatever. Right, but I get pulled over, and the cop is walking to the car, and this is not good for me, okay? Because I can't stop making jokes. This doesn't stop when I leave the stage. Do you know what I mean? Like 2 seconds alone, and I'm like, Kool-Aid Man's kids probably never felt safe masturbating. And I'm like, how dare he call himself Mr. Clean when he's clearly on steroids? It never stops. Dating me is a nightmare. So it's worse when it's an authority figure too. When it's an authority, it's way worse. Like I can't stop, like I was always the kid who had his desk in the hallway, and if a teacher was getting mad at me, I can't help but make jokes, right? And so like one time I was going to Mexico, and I was crossing the border, and the border guard was like, do you have any drugs? And I said, why would I bring sand to the beach? And then I had to talk to him and his friends for 6 hours. Okay, so this cop is coming to the window, and I'm like, don't make a joke, don't make a joke, don't make a joke. And he rolls down the window, I roll down the window, and he's like, why are you going so fast? And I said, I am so sorry, officer, I have been drinking all day. He was like, you're gonna have to step out of the car. And he was mad. He was pissed off. And he was even more pissed off when I blew a zero. I got back in the car and he says, listen, you were going 140 and an 80, I could impound your car. And I was like, please don't. And then he said, but also, you have illegal tints on your windows. I don't know if you know this, but it's illegal to have any tint on your front windows in BC, okay? Which is crazy, because like, how am I supposed to text and drive and not get caught? It's like, you have illegal tints. And then I said, I don't know what you want me to do about that right now. And he said, well, you can either remove them or get a fine. And I was like, do you want me to wish them away? And then he said, they actually come right off if you have a knife. And then this cop pulled out a hunting knife. Like, not a knife that the government gave him. Like a knife he brought from home, you know what I mean? And he makes a little slit like this on the window, and then he just ripped the tint right off of my window. He just peeled it right off. That's the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life. Do you understand the magnitude of that? This cop hunted down my car and skinned it on the side of the highway. That's how far north I was. If that happened in a city, there would be a GoFundMe for me to get new tints on the window, and there would be a human rights tribunal. Not there. So we go do the show, okay, and I told the story on stage, like right away. I had to, right? And then this lady in the front row, I'm halfway through the story, she goes, oh yeah, that's Officer Claire Butt, we know it. I was like, what? She's like, yeah, she did that to my son. And another guy over here is like, yeah, we hate that guy. And I was like, whoa. And then the whole show just turned into a town hall meeting about how much everyone hates this cop. And then after the show, a guy came up to me and showed me his phone. He had texted the cop and he was like, hey, did you cut the tints off this comedian's car? And he wrote back, what the fuck are they saying? And then we got the hell out of there. It's fun. It's fun traveling out there. I'm very much city. I'm very much a little city guy. I'm very much, you know what I mean? And my dad is not. My dad is not like me at all. My dad is a 6'2" Saskatchewan man with a mustache. Okay, yeah, my dad's from a small town in Saskatchewan called Cut Knife. That is a town that is named after how you died and the murder weapon. He's tough. He's a tough man, okay? And he's a dad. He's like a full-on dad, you know what I mean? Like he just wakes up in the morning and says the price of gas. We're just so different, okay? Like he moved out from Saskatchewan in the 60s out to the coast, okay, and then became a lumberjack. Like that's even a real job. Like that's a cartoon job. That's not even... And he did that, and then he worked in a pulp mill for 500 years. Okay, and then he retired a carpenter. That's when they gave him the mustache. They were like, you did it. Okay, and I use hair product that smells like cookies. We're built different. Okay, my dad climbed up trees and cut them down with his bare hands, and I was a part-time barista. There's nothing wrong with that job. You just can't explain it to a man who was born in 1949. He doesn't get it. I'm like, it's hard. He's like, yeah? I'm like, yeah, sometimes on Wednesdays I work for 6 hours. He's like, your job is a break. I'm like, it's not, it's hard. He's like, yeah? Did you pet a dog today? I pet 2 dogs, my job's a break. Son of a bitch. It's not his fault though. He tried with me. It's not his fault, he did try. He tried to teach me things, okay, but I just didn't learn like the lesson he was trying to teach. Right? Like one time when I was 10, he tried to teach me how to chop wood, but instead of learning how to chop wood, I learned that I'm a huge disappointment to my father. We have a good relationship. We get along fine. Everything's fine, but he struggles. He does struggle. He struggles with having a gay son quite a bit. He doesn't have one. But online, where he tells people he does, big struggle for him. My dad is a badass. I think he's done a lot of cool stuff. Like, man, when I lived with my parents for a little bit during COVID. I lived with them, and he was like such a badass. Like he like put a new roof on the house. He rebuilt the engine in the car, and then he built a fence around the whole house. They didn't need a fence. He just had wood. During that same time, I completed Red Dead Redemption 2. Do you understand? Do you understand what that means? It means I played a video game where I was my dad. He was like, I got some stuff I need you to help me with. I'm like, I gotta get back to camp and chop wood. I can't. It's a badass man, you know? Yeah. I think the most badass thing that my dad ever did is he had 3 kids on purpose. 3 kids on purpose. That's insane. Right? On purpose? I get that people have kids, right? Mistakes are made. But on purpose? Round of applause if you have children. Okay. Round of applause if you did it on purpose. Okay. That's the sound of mental illness. I don't get having kids on purpose. That's totally insane to me. I'll never understand that. Like if I wanted to watch somebody who could barely walk try to eat Cheerios with their bare hands, I'd just go to Denny's at midnight. You need to create a whole person for that. I can't have kids. I mean, I can have kids, you know what I mean? But like, I can't. But I'm not trying to do it. I'm trying to do everything I can to not, you know what I mean? I can't have kids. I can't be in charge of another person's life. Do you understand? I don't even know where my headphones are most of the time. Right? I've not one time have I ever kept a lighter all the way through till the fluid ran out. I can't be in charge of a kid. I don't even know what to do if a baby starts crying. I have no idea. Do you just put a blanket over its cage and it goes to sleep like a bird? If my baby is crying at me, I'm just gonna talk to it like it's an adult. I'm like, you're being super toxic right now. That's not how we talk in this house. I get if you want to blame past traumas, but like, you're 2 weeks old, you don't even have any. It's like you're the one who ate all your food, now you're screaming at me. I feel like you're gaslighting me. No, thank you. Like, let me put it to you this way, okay? I'm not going to apply to have kids like it's a job. I'm not going to apply to have kids like it's a job, okay? I'm not going to walk in to the place and they're like, Mr. Duvall, thanks so much for coming in. Here is your human baby. Yeah, it's your job to keep it clean and keep it fed. Sure, sounds easy. Just so you know, in no time at all, it's going to be able to get up and walk around on its own, and it has no idea that fire is hot or that it can't breathe underwater. It's a fucking idiot. Yeah. You should also know that if anything happens to it, you go to prison for a very long time. And I'm like, holy shit, what's the pay for this job? They're like, it's negative $1 million. Absolutely not. The only reason I think I would ever have kids is so that I could name another person. That's it. That's the only reason I'm ever having kids, is so I can name another human being. I'd have fun with it too. I'd be at the park hanging out with my kids. Some lady be like, oh my God, those your kids? They're super cute. I'd be like, yeah, that's our daughter, Titanic. She's like, oh, that's a cool name. I'm like, yeah, we named our kids. Oops. Darn it. Dad, is that Sturdy? He is here. I'm gonna have to edit this out. He is here tonight. I'm gonna start that joke over. How's that sound? It's the beauty of entertainment. You can start a joke over, okay? The only reason I'm ever having kids is so that I could name another human being. It's crazy that you guys are hearing this for the first time ever. Right now. I'd have fun with it. I'd be at the park, hanging out. Some lady would be like, those your kids? They're super cute. I'd be like, yeah, that's our daughter, Titanic. She's like, oh, that's a cool name. I'm like, yeah, we actually named them after the movies we were watching the night they were conceived. Oh, here comes our son. Stepmom Gets Destroyed. So many dudes at tables being like, I don't get it. What do you mean? Babe, let's get out of here. This guy's gross. Here's the thing. I'm not a porn guy. I watched it when I was younger. I don't watch porn anymore. I don't watch it. I don't like it. I know I look like a guy who makes porn. I don't watch it. I don't like it. It makes me uncomfortable. I think porn sets unrealistic expectations for today's youth, is what I think. Yeah, right? Yeah, it does. It does. There's no way a guy with a ponytail could have a house that nice. It's not a guy with a ponytail's house. Get out of here. There's no swords on the wall. There's no Mountain Dew containers. Almost never any ferrets. His mom's not there. I mean, sometimes his mom is there, right? You know what I mean? Depending on what episode you're on. Yeah, brother. Women in the audience, you're laughing. You're part of the problem. You say things in those movies that are not true. You love the way he tastes. Really, you love it? I'm no expert, okay? But I'm thinking he tastes okay at best. Like, they're not making dick-flavored Skittles, okay? This is so much fun. Um, 2 days ago, I hit 6 years clean and sober from drugs and alcohol. So that's a thing. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. This is a vodka soda, but it's my cheat day. I love it. I love it. I love being sober. 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 I love it. I love it. You can tell I love it because I never, ever shut the fuck up about it. I love it. It's the best. I do, though. It's been, my life it's super crazy. Like I in the last 6 years, I quit drinking, I quit doing drugs, I quit smoking cigarettes, I lost 100 pounds, and I started running, and now all I have to do is become vegan, and I'll be the most annoying person you've ever met. I'm so close. I'm so close. Man. That's crazy, dude. I quit things I didn't even know I needed to quit. Like, I just don't shop at 7-Eleven anymore. It turns out when you get sober, you just don't need anything from there. I had no idea. Listen, I was doing 90% of my grocery shopping at 7-Eleven, okay? I would come home from the bar with bags of stuff, like shopping bags full of stuff from 7-Eleven. Listen to me. If you were buying enough stuff at 7-Eleven that the cashier asks you if you need a bag, check in with yourself. Ask yourself some hard-hitting questions. You might need a sponsor. I ate the hot case food at 7-Eleven. That takes a big man to admit that. In more than one way. I ate the hot cake. It was crazy. I ate all of it. I ate the whole thing. I ate fucking taquitos. That's how you pronounce taquitos, too. It's taquitos! If you pronounce it like taquitos, you are too sober to be eating taquitos. That's how, and they're not daytime food either. If you're eating any of the food from 7-Eleven during the day, if you order taquitos before 11 p.m., you should not be allowed to vote. I ate the pizza. It's really not easy to be vulnerable up here, okay? Like this. I ate the pizza. The pizza at 7-Eleven is crazy. You guys have seen the pizza, right? Yeah. It looks like Papa John and Delicio had an abortion. And 7-Eleven was like, whoa. Hey. Don't throw that out. We can sell that to drunk people. So I don't shop at 7-Eleven anymore. I haven't been in there in ages. It's just not it. And but a lot of stuff is the same though. Like a lot has changed obviously, but a lot is I don't know, man. Like I hang out with even though I'm sober, I still hang out with a ton of people who drink and do drugs pretty often. Doesn't bother me that much. I have a lot of friends who microdose. Anybody microdose? Okay. Sounded a bit like a macro dose back there. Microdose, I don't have an issue with this. Microdosing, if you don't know what it is, microdosing is a kind of therapy. It's very popular, especially here on the West Coast. It's a kind of therapy where you take a small amount of a psychedelic like mushrooms or acid, and you take it in the morning, and then it actually helps you to be high all day. You're doing drugs. Get the fuck out of here. Shut up. You're doing drugs. Okay. I tried it. I tried microdosing. I tried to microdose cocaine. I tried doing a line every 3 minutes for 17 years. Not a ton of success. My life's so different now. It's so different than it was 6 years ago. It was not all bad. Like, it was fun. Like, I had a buddy who would text me and he'd be like, hey, what are you doing after work? You want to come over for a couple days? And I would be like, I do, you know? And now I can't drink coffee in the morning because it gives me the jitters. You know what I mean? Like, it's so different. One time I blacked out while I was drinking and got on a plane, and then I came to as the plane was touching down on the tarmac. Like, I teleport when I drink. I turn into an X-Man. Do you understand? Like, that's what my life was like. And the other day, I went into a bookstore and out loud said, ooh, the Christmas puzzles are out. Different now. It's easy now. Like, for me now, it's mostly easy. Like, it's been 6 years. I don't have to think too much about it anymore. It's just kind of my everyday life. But it wasn't always like that. And I got into weird situations, especially early on, like in the first 6 months. One time, I was talking to this couple. I got into this conversation with this couple randomly. They seemed like they were on like a first date or something. And we were having like a normal conversation. And out of nowhere, I'm like, don't you think that it's like being alive is like we're all on death row and our jobs and our phones are like our prisons? And they just stared at me, right? And then I remembered where I was and I had to be like, I'm so sorry about that. My name is Dan. Welcome to the Old Spaghetti Factory. Mojitos tonight are $3. And unlike life, garlic bread is endless. But it's fun. I have more fun. I think I have more fun in sobriety now than I did before. I think I just did the same shit every day, and now I have fun. It's like it's just different. And like I was saying, it's been 6 years, and now it's kind of like it's easy. So when the opportunity comes up, I can kind of fuck with people a little bit. And an example of that is I was in a cafe a few weeks ago and I ordered a Diet Coke. Because I don't know if you know this about sober people, but Diet Coke is water for us. So I ordered a Diet Coke, right? And the guy behind the counter, he looked like me, but a barista, so like emaciated, right? And he I was like, can I get a Diet Coke? And he's like, and he goes to hand it to me, but then he like pulled it back. And he goes, hey. Just before you take this, he goes, I just have to say, they've done tests on this stuff, and it turns out it's carcinogenic. So it causes cancer. And I was like, hey man, listen. I used to smoke crack. So I'm probably just gonna drink this Diet Coke. That's so fun for me. We have so much fun in sobriety. Like one of our favorite things to do as sober people is to judge you guys. That's one of our favorite things to do. Like, I love it when people tell me that they're addicted to things that are not drugs and alcohol. That's cute. Like, you're addicted to the gym. Are you, though? Yeah, you ever miss 3 days of work because you were doing squats? I don't think you did, Bryce. It's not the same thing, okay? I get that addiction is addiction. I do understand that, okay? But the stakes are not as high. Okay, like I'm not using other personal trainers because I owe my regular personal trainer $40. It's not the same. I'm not gonna walk into my buddy's house, he's got a Peloton all of a sudden. I'm like, damn, Kyle, those are expensive, man. How'd you pay for that? He's like, mostly just copper wiring from construction sites. It's not the same thing. That lady you work with who says she's addicted to chocolate? All right. Just go get some fucking chocolate, Heather. No one gives a shit. You're not injecting cocoa between your toes so your coworkers don't find out. Hey, when's the last time you locked your kids in the car at 4 o'clock in the morning because you wanted a Kit Kat? Fuck out of here. My sister says she's addicted to cheese. You rascal. Addicted to cheese? Were you snorting Parmesan out of one of those big green craft containers in the bathroom at our grandma's funeral? Because I didn't see you when I was in there doing cocaine. You know what I mean? No, man. I think my actual favorite part of being sober is that at 42, my mom is proud of me for the first time, is what it feels like. Thanks. My mom is amazing. My mom is like my favorite person. She's the sweetest lady in the world. She is like a tiny 5'2" felt mouse that you put on a Christmas tree. She's the cutest lady in the world. And she's cool too. My mom is 72 years old and she has a podcast. Right? It's great too. If you want to listen to it, you just have to have the password to my voicemail. It's called Guess Who Died. She's here too. Love you, Mom. You're doing great. It's great. Great stuff. That's more than enough. Remember that boy? You remember that boy you went to elementary school with? I'm like, I fucking don't. No one does. No idea. Being around my mom is like having a Google home that you don't have to ask questions to. She gives you, she's like, it's snowing on the Malahat. Like, all right, it's COVID, okay? No one can go anywhere. Not trying to hit up the doghouse for lunch, you know what I mean? That's not gonna go on the album, but it's fun. It's way too local. In Toronto, they're like the Malahat. Fuck, good stuff. Moms be saying it. It's a true story. My mom's cool, dude. My mom's from the streets, but it's like Coronation Street, you know? Trying to get her to get knuckle tattoos that say Earl Grey. Nah, life is good, man. Life is good. I feel like I got my shit together the most I've ever had in my life. Things are going good. It's fun, you know? Thanks. All that's left to do now is to win the lottery and get the hell out of here. Am I right, everybody? Gotta quit this greasy town, right? That's what everybody says when they're like, if I win the lottery, man, I'm quitting my job today. I'm gonna go and piss on my boss's desk, all this shit. It's like, not. I don't know, man. I don't think that's the move. I don't think that's what you do if you win the lottery. You don't quit your job. Don't quit your job if you win the lottery. What you do is you get more jobs, and then you get fired from them for fun reasons. That's your job now. Do you know what I mean? Like the day that I win $400 million in a lottery is the best day of my life. But it is the worst day of my grocery manager's life. Who let all these hawks into the break room? I did, Gary. I'm rich. You think these cashiers have hawk money? Get out of here. I don't think so, pal, right? I don't want to work at Wendy's now. But if I'm a billionaire, I work at Wendy's now. Right? Is deep fryer basketball a thing? I don't know, Kevin, my assistant manager. It is now, bitch. I'm rich. I think it messes you up. I don't think that you can have that kind of money and just be a normal person. I don't think... Like, that's why all our billionaires are flying into the space on dicks. And digging holes under Vegas and buying Twitter. They're all crazy. I don't think that you can be normal and have that kind of money. I think it turns you into a supervillain, and I want to experience that part of life also. Now that I'm sober, I want to experience all aspects of life, including being a Disney villain. Right? Because it makes you crazy. I'm nice. I'm a nice person. I'm super nice. You can tell because I'm yelling it at you from a microphone. Okay, but if I win $400 million, I'm going to turn into a psychopath. I know it. Like, I'm super nice, right? But if I win $400 million tonight, tomorrow I'm sitting in front of Legoland because I rented it out just so I could watch kids cry because it's closed. Right? I want to be weird rich. I want to be crazy guy rich. Right? Where you're just not sure what's going on. Like, I want to be rich enough to have 11 orphans dressed like a NASCAR pit crew run out of my closet to make my bed really fast in the morning. Right? Weirdo shit. That's what I'm talking about. Like, do you have that friend who says they just want to be comfortable financially? Well, fuck that loser. I want to be uncomfortably rich. I want to be rich enough so that I can hunt golden retrievers and just not care about the backlash. I said could, not would, okay? I would never hunt golden retrievers. I would never hunt golden retrievers, okay? You don't have to because they come right up to you when you call their name. Pancakes. Thank you guys. Thank you so much. It's very fun. Thank you. I want to thank you guys all for coming out tonight. This has been awesome, and there's something I always try to leave audiences with when I do this, and I think there's a lot of division and bad, terrible things going on in the world. It's a really dark place, and I think it's really awesome that we can all come together in a comedy show and laugh, and I think that if there's anything you can take away from a comedy show, specifically this one, is that it takes 36 muscles to frown, okay? But it only takes 4 full-size golden retrievers to make a fancy coat. Thank you so much. Thank you. tell I'm 42 because my flashlight was on through that whole show?
Beep boop.